Okay, case result time. I want to tell you the story of a slip and fall case that we handled against an apartment complex that we settled for $500,000. This is a story of why it's important for your lawyer to do the work all the way through and not trust what the insurance company says. So I represented a woman who was walking back into her apartment complex, and the cleaning company at the apartment complex had taken the cleaning solution and dumped it immediately outside the front door. And they had put up a wet floor sign, but where they had put it up was in the corner leaning against the wall. It wasn't actually where it should have been, right in the middle of the hallway where everybody would have seen it. And so my client walks in the door, her feet go over this wet substance that's on the mat outside the door, so she's now tracking in wetness from outside. She doesn't know that the floor is wet because the wet floor sign is leaning up against the wall. Of course, she slips and falls and breaks her femur, broke her wrist, broke her elbow. It was a bad fall. And when we first sent the package to the insurance company and said, let's try to settle this case, they said, we didn't do anything wrong. Cleaning company didn't do anything wrong. And they swore up and down that the cleaning company had put the wet floor sign right in the middle of the hallway. And they swore up and down that there was a video. And they even told us that they had a video of somebody, some unknown guy, taking the wet floor sign and putting it up against the wall. So I said, that's weird. So I told my client, and over the course of the next couple days, her boyfriend was out in the hallway and he saw the sign leaned up against the wall 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row. So I said, have him go out and take pictures every single day. Take a picture when it's leaning up against the wall. Because I seriously doubt that somebody is coming by and doing this nefariously, right? It's probably the cleaning company isn't doing their jobs correctly. And we never found out. We never actually found out whether there was a video. I suspect that there wasn't. Because as we were in litigation, we had to file a lawsuit in this case. As we were in litigation, the insurance company's story became, well, the video, we have an employee that watched it, but then it was corrupted, or we couldn't get it off the file, or they're going to send it to us. That story just kept moving and moving and moving. Eventually, they identified somebody who said was a witness to this whole thing. They said the guy had maybe seen somebody move it. Of course, in discovery, they give us his name and his address and his phone number, and I called him, and he didn't know what they were talking about. So were we being lied to by an insurance company? I don't know. My client moved to Las Vegas. She wanted to settle the case, so we settled the case. I don't know what the truth of that was. We never found out, but we settled it for $500,000, which I thought was a fair result in the case, and she was happy. So there are a couple lessons here. Number one, you have to have somebody who's willing to do the work. You have to have somebody who's not willing to take the insurance company's word for it and put a case in litigation and do discovery and take depositions if necessary. The other lesson in that is that sometimes what the client wants is more important than chasing the next dollar and hammering the insurance company and hammering the apartment complex against the wall, right? My client had no interest in coming back and being examined, had no interest in coming back and being deposed. She just wanted to settle the case. Had we marched down everything and had we discovered that this actually was a lie, and if we were able to prove it was a lie, was the case worth more money? Probably. But at the end of the day, after a conversation with her, she asked us not to do all of those things and just resolve the case so that she could move on with her lives. It's important to understand where your clients are coming from and what results they actually want to achieve in their cases.